see new people here. Hi, new people. Thanks for coming by. I hope you like what you see. And if you do, there's lots you can do. You can like it. You can share it. And by liking it, that means thumbs up. Share it. And definitely comment. I love the comments. I love to see everybody interacting with each other. And I love reacting with you guys too, okay? But definitely, please hit that subscribe button below. And for all you returning people, hi guys, thanks for coming by. I so appreciate it. So, and please keep those comments coming. I really, really, really appreciate it. And please make sure you're subscribed. My phone updated again. How many times is it gonna update? And I ended up losing 3, not 1, not 2, but 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 subscriptions. So I had to resubscribe to them. I always go in and check my faves to make sure. And I want to recommend a video. I absolutely love it. Okay, first of all, actually I'm going to recommend 2 videos today. I'm lying. I'm going to recommend 3 videos today. The first one, today in Canada, it's Bell Let's Talk Day. And that's a day where we celebrate taking the stigma away from mental health and where we make it common to talk back and forth and have conversations. And I did a video about it, so please check it out. But on that same line, my girl, Lori Latte, ASMR, also did a personal attention, self-care, self-love video. It's fabulous, you guys, and it's everything you need to know, but we're afraid to ask. So please check that out. And another video I know you guys will love, partly because it's full of tingles, just full of tingles. And the other thing, it's full of knowledge, is my queen, Peace and Sarity. She did a 2024 trends prediction for makeup and hair and clothing. I loved it. I was literally sitting there like this at one point watching. So definitely. And another one that you're really going to want to look at, if you want tingles, ASMR for everyone, and that's ASMR for everyone, the numbers, did a tapping and scratching on the camera. Oh, the tingles, the sounds, and it all has like a red vibe to it. It's fabulous, you guys. You gotta give it a try. You really do. So those are 3 that will help you with going to sleep and relaxing, but you're here, so let me help you too. So I thought I would read to you guys from this new book that we got, Making Me Time, 101 Stories About Self-Care and Balance by Amy Newmark. And it's a chicken soup for the soul book. And we read a couple stories last night, so we're going to read them tonight too. Because I gave you 3 other videos to watch, I'm not going to do the relaxation breathing with you, because I do want you to try them out. And I want you guys to be overrun with tingles tonight, okay? So, and for the new people, how this works, I choose books like this that have no illustrations. I do read some with illustrations, but these kind of books I don't, so that you can just focus on my voice. You don't even have to look at the screen. I'll be looking down because I need my glasses to read, and my glasses cause a glare with the ring light, and I can't see it without the ring light. So I'm going to read it to you guys. I never choose ahead of time. I have a lot of faith, and I believe that when I open this book, I will land on a story that one of you, maybe even you, need to hear this tonight. Okay, so let's get started, shall we? Get comfy. No, you too. You over there. Get comfy. Okay. All right, so let's see what we can find, shall we? Okay, this is from chapter 6, which is Declutter, Detox, and Defend. And this one is called Giving Thanks by Letting Go. And the quote at the front is you've got to make a conscious choice every day to shed the old, whatever the old means to you. Sarah Ban Breathick. I think I have her book. I think The Pursuit of Happiness, I think, is her book. Or Simple Abundance. Simple Abundance. Okay. I sneak away to my bedroom to make the phone call. I ease the door closed using both hands, being careful not to let the handle click. The house is full of the smell of roasting turkey. The table is set for 9 with the inherited white china and my autumn-themed tablecloth and napkins. Setting the table for special occasions is always one of my favorite tasks. The silverware is polished and placed perfectly on either side of the plates. My grandma passed her silverware down to me, and my mother-in-law has added some of her own pieces. I don't care that they don't match. I love that they come together in a random order, just as families merge over time. Every time I pull them out, I think of holidays around Grandma's long table so many years ago. My kids are home for the Thanksgiving weekend, and the usual quiet order of the house has given way to lively conversations, lots of extra work, and lots of loads of laundry. We are also hosting my son's girlfriend and her family, in addition to my mother-in-law. It's our first time having our son's girlfriend for a holiday. I'm very excited. I can see our families merging in the future. That makes me happy. My mother-in-law is the only grandparents my kids really know. I'm happy she's here too. My mom, however, is not invited to this Thanksgiving gathering. There have been too many holidays ruined by her drinking. I've decided to call her today just to ease my guilt. I'm hoping she'll tell me that she's spending the day with my sister's family, or maybe with her husband's kids. That will also help ease my guilt. I check the bedside clock, 11:45 a.m. I'm barely in time for my self-imposed noon deadline. After 12, Mom will usually have begun drinking. My heart pounds fast. I take a deep breath. I know I should not make this phone call. The risk is very high. My husband has cautioned me many times after soothing away another set of tears. But I am drawn to do it anyways, like a moth that is attracted to the light and his eventual demise. I'm using the landline, and I have to look up her number. I think it's odd that I don't know my mother's phone number. My hands shake as I punch in the digits. Hello, Mom answers. My heart beats faster. Hi, Mom. I just wanted to say Happy Thanksgiving. I can picture her sitting at her kitchen table, cigarette in one hand, pencil in the other. She's probably working on the last few clues of the morning crossword. My mom has a thin but sturdy frame, but the years of drinking have given her a bigger belly. Her gray hair, which she refuses to color, hangs down in long waves, framing her weathered face. She looks much older than her 71 years. A life of sun, physical labor, and smoking have all taken their toll. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you too. Her voice is calm, maybe even a little surprised to hear from me. So, what are your plans today? I close my eyes, pushing my hope for good news into the universe. Not much. I'm just cooking a turkey for me and Richie. Oh, that sounds nice. Is anyone coming over? I asked cheerfully. Nope, just the two of us. The first pangs of guilt set in. So, what else are you cooking? I need to change the direction of this conversation. Oh, I'll make all the trimmings too. You know how I like to cook. Oh, I'm sure it will be delicious. She really is a great cook. Are the kids home? She asks. Yes, they're both home for the long weekend. Oh, that's nice to have your kids home with you. The guilt stabs me again. Yes, it's great to have them home. Is she going to ask how they are? Is she going to ask what they're up to? "Well, I'll let you go now," she says. Let you go now, as if she's the one who called, as if we've been talking for half an hour when it's barely 3 minutes. I feel sad about her being home on Thanksgiving with only her husband to keep her company. I know she'll have a hard day taking orders and insults from him and wondering what all her kids are doing. Instead of easing my guilt, this call has only heightened it. I shouldn't have been surprised. I blurt out, "I love you, Mom." I have no idea where that came from. We don't usually say that, and I haven't said it in as long as I can remember to her. "Okay," she says. "Bye." Click. Okay? Okay. Who says okay when their daughter says "I love you"? I say to the empty room. Who does that? I look out the window to the backyard. The lawn is damp with last night's rain, and the sun shines bright. Yellow, orange, red, and brown leaves are sticking to the wet pavement. A slight breeze picks up outside, and more leaves free themselves from the branches and drift down. How easily a tree rids itself of all the things it no longer needs. Without a thought, it discards the leaves that held a purpose all spring and summer, but it won't be needed for the winter, while the tree rests and prepares for the spring. It must do this in order to be strong enough to generate new growth. I pace around my bedroom and ask myself, why have I done this to myself again? Why do I keep trying to get her to love me? But this time I don't cry. I think of the voices that I'll hear in the kitchen, my husband, my 2 wonderful kids. They are laughing about something. I think about the phone calls I have with them, and each one always ends up ending in "I love you" and a reciprocal "I love you too." Sometimes I say it first, sometimes they do. I think about the new lives they are both forging with their significant others, and the new families that we will add to our own. New branches to our family tree. New growth. I think about the day ahead and all the fun, warmth, and laughter that we will enjoy. I have more than I ever could have dreamed possible. The futility of my struggle with my mom hits me like a fierce autumn wind. I shake my head. It is finally as clear to me as the blue sky above. I will never get what I want from my mother, but I am finally okay with that. Just like the trees outside, I too must shed what no longer I need, and I have to prepare for new seasons to come. I head back to the smell of roasting turkey, laughter, and hugs. I really do have so much to be thankful for on this special day. Maggie John. That was a good one. Okay, let's try one more. Okay, this one is called "Put on Your Mask First." And the quote is from Eleanor Brown. Rest and self-care are so important. When you take time to replenish your spirit, it allows you to serve others from the overflow. You cannot serve from an empty vessel. After suffering through a year of serious physical deterioration, my husband Mike was diagnosed with ALS. At the time, the doctor said all of the typically uplifting things, but no matter how cheerful a facade he put forward, we all knew what the wretched diagnosis meant. My Michael, a loving dad and my husband, and best buddy of almost 20 years, was going to die sooner rather than later. We left the doctor's office clinging to each other tightly. My mind whirled with questions. How would we financially survive? How was I going to work while taking care of a terminally ill husband? Would I even be able to take care of him properly? How would this diagnosis affect our 9-year-old Kendall? Not once did I think about my own well-being. The next evening, I was preparing dinner when Mike came into the kitchen. Tears were rolling down his cheek. In a quivering voice that brought tears to my own eyes, he implored, "Please don't put me away. I held his face and looked directly into his eyes, and sounding stronger than I felt, I resolutely replied, "You're staying here. I will take care of you as long as I'm physically and medically capable. And if the time comes when I can't, I will get in-home caregiving." While making that stubborn declaration to both Mike and the universe, I silently affirmed that life would remain as normal as humanly possible. My own health was not part of the equation. Mike's illness quickly progressed. Our marriage quietly transitioned from husband and wife to patient and caregiver. When Mike could no longer sleep in a conventional bed, a hospital bed was moved into the living room for him, and I slept on the couch nearby. Still, Kendall's schooling and activity schedule remained intact. As the now sole breadwinner, I continued to work. My mother stayed with Mike when I worked. At night, I was on duty, which meant I never got enough sleep. Nevertheless, to the outside world, I seemed to be managing. I even convinced myself that I was coping well. I was caring for Mike, keeping the household financially afloat, and seeing to it that Kendall's childhood was as normal as possible. I did notice that I was catching more colds than usual, and I was having more of my once rare migraines. However, I pushed through those annoyances. There was no time to do otherwise. Self-care? Me time? Not a chance. I couldn't even manage sleep time. There was barely enough time for me to care for my husband and child. I've quickly discovered that you can fool the outside world. You could probably fool yourself temporarily. Despite my best efforts, however, the truth will come out, even if the bearer of the truth is your own body. I'd planned a Mommy and Me day with Kendall, a once regular activity that had become too infrequent due to his illness. Feeling ever so slightly under the weather, and just chalking it up to fatigue, I'd gone into the bedroom to dress. My mother arrived and settled in to spend the afternoon with Mike. After greeting her, Kendall burst excitedly into our bedroom. As she hugged me, I shrieked in terrible pain. The skin on the entire left side of my body felt as though I had just sustained a 3rd-degree burn, and everything hurt inside. Frightened, Kendall yelled for my mother to come in, and I weakly limped back to the bed. I described my symptoms to my mother, who sat on the bed and gingerly took my hand. She looked me in the eye and said, "If you don't get help in this house, I will." When I protested, she rebutted, "You know how flight attendants instruct passengers to first put on their own oxygen mask? Well, your cabin has lost pressure. Put on your mask." Sensing my mother's brook no argument tone, it's funny how we all have that, I immediately called our family doctor. After instructing me to come to the office, he said, "What you were describing sounds a lot like shingles, and there's about 200 different things that can trigger shingles. But I promise I know what's triggered yours." I was indeed diagnosed with shingles, the primary cause being exceedingly high levels of stress with little or no respite. I was 39 years old at the time of my diagnosis with shingles, an illness that was way more common in the elderly. I fooled myself into thinking I could do it all. Something had to change, and quickly. I finally realized that whenever I thought about my own care or carving out a little time for myself, I thought I was being selfish, but I wasn't. Taking the time for me is an essential component of physical and mental health. And not taking it doesn't mean that I'm better at managing everything. It means I'm failing. The best caregiver builds in personal time for the caregiver. I arranged for in-home caregiving 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, allowing ample time for me to rest. We hired a once-a-week cleaning service. I accepted meals from friends and family. I also accepted help getting Kendall to her swimming lessons, Hebrew school, and other activities. Then I created pockets of time to nourish my soul, whether it was time spent with inspirational readings in the morning, an hour at a coffee house in the afternoon, or even an early dinner with a girlfriend.
Sometimes it was something as simple as taking myself out for a quick lunchtime chicken avocado salad and the newspaper. Combined with getting the necessary help into the house, all these periodic activities all seem to result in a refreshed, renewed, and revitalized wife, caregiver, mother, and woman. Since Mike's passing, I've made me time a permanent part of my weekly schedule. Whether it's Zumba 4 times a week, yoga twice a week, daily meditation, or just chatting with friends, I faithfully keep my appointments with myself, and I don't feel guilty or selfish. And I'm a better me for taking the time. Carol Brody Fleet. Okay, you guys, I hope you enjoyed those readings, and I hope they spoke to somebody. So, don't forget to go check out those other ASM artists I told you about. But always remember, I love you, I value you, I honor you, and I'm so very glad that you were born.